Welcome, listeners, to Knol, the series where we distill books down to their essence. In today's episode, we tackle The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday and dive into the compelling idea that the challenges we encounter aren't just stumbling blocks, but rather they are valuable opportunities for growth and success. Through timeless wisdom and practical insights, Holiday invites us to flip our perspective on adversity and transform the way we approach life's inevitable hurdles. So, if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed by a problem, or just curious about turning struggles into stepping stones, stick around as we unpack the transformative messages in The Obstacle is the Way. Perception isn't just a word we throw around. It's where power lies, according to The Obstacle is the Way. Ryan Holiday starts by telling us that when we stumble upon a challenge, it's not the obstacle itself that's the problem, but how we choose to view it. Think about it. Two people can face the same challenge and have completely different reactions. One sees a brick wall, the other a stepping stone. It's not magic, it's perspective. Holiday digs deep into history to show us that many successful figures didn't just happen upon success. They actually turned the so-called insurmountable into rungs on the ladder to their goals. Take Thomas Edison, for instance. His lab burned down, with years of work inside. He could have seen this as the end, but instead he's reported to have said, "There's great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." In a stunning turnaround, he and his team worked around the clock, and with that renewed energy, they churned out more than what they had lost. The perception of obstacles as opportunities, Holiday asserts, is something that doesn't come naturally to all, but can definitely be honed. It's about practicing a discipline of the mind. It's like flipping a switch from problem mode to solution mode. So what can we pluck from this? The start is to eliminate emotions that cloud judgment. Instead of jumping into a whirlpool of negativity when faced with an obstacle, Holiday advises to keep cool and steady. He quotes the ancient Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius saying, "Our actions may be impeded, but there can be no impeding our intentions or dispositions, because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting." By changing our narrative from "why is this happening to me" to "what can I get out of this?" we're unlocking a hidden arsenal. It requires a dash of creativity, a sprinkle of optimism, and a whole lot of reframing. The moment we see the obstacle not as a nuisance, but rather a path to a more robust, more ingenious self, that's when the way becomes clear. Remember, the obstacle is not just a blockage, it is the path to progress. The way forward, it is simply the way. Actions speak far louder than words or even thoughts when it comes to tackling the hurdles in our paths. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday doesn't just want us to rethink our problems, it urges us to rise up and act against them. Let me unpack this dynamic principle for you. The idea here is simple yet profound. When we're hit with a challenge, inertia is our biggest enemy. Picture this: a boulder in your way. You could sit and complain about it, or you could start pushing. Sure, it may not budge much at first, but the effort and momentum are what count. Holiday brings history into the mix with invigorating tales of great leaders like Thomas Edison and Steve Jobs. They didn't just happen upon success, they bulldozed through walls of failure. Edison's numerous attempts to invent the light bulb are a classic example. Each failure wasn't just a setback, but a step forward, because he acted, learned, and persevered. So what's the takeaway for us? Start with initiative. When faced with an obstacle, the immediate step is to do something. Anything. It's that old adage, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Holiday doesn't promote reckless action, though. There's a strategy in the march forward, like a river carving through rock, not through sheer force, but through persistence. Our actions should be deliberate, persistent, and adaptable. If one approach fails, we pivot, we adjust, but we keep moving. And it's not about exhausting yourself with grand, sweeping actions either. Many times, it's the consistent, small actions, those daily choices to keep grinding away at the boulder, that accumulate into the unstoppable force needed to move mountains. Holiday also warns of action just for action's sake. The objective isn't to be busy. The goal is to be productive. This means focusing on what's within our control and letting go of what's not. We must recognize that sometimes the best action is to strategically pause, reassess, and strike with renewed vigor. Remember, every obstacle is a call to test our mettle, to flex our problem-solving muscles and be the architect of our victories. The Obstacle is the Way is a blueprint for turning adversity into advantage, and it all begins with the courage to take that first, daring step forward. So stand up, confront your challenges, and let's transform the energy of our actions into the way through any and all obstacles that life throws at us. In The Obstacle is the Way, Ryan Holiday reminds us that will is our internal power supply. It's that last reservoir of energy that we can call upon to push through when every fiber of our being is shouting for us to give up. And cultivating this inner strength, this unwavering will, is paramount as we face life's inevitable challenges. Holiday takes us on a journey through history, sharing stories of great leaders like Thomas Edison and Amelia Earhart, who exemplified the power of will. Edison, with his relentless experimentation despite thousands of failed attempts, and Earhart's courageous solo flights across daunting oceans. They didn't possess some magical absence of fear or doubt. Rather, they had crafted a resilient will that propelled them beyond these feelings. As we dive into the philosophy Holiday presents, we see that he draws heavily on Stoicism, the ancient Greek philosophy. The Stoics, as Holiday explains, saw the will as a muscle that can and should be strengthened. It's the ability to endure, yes, but it's also a mindset that helps us see through and beyond the fog of despair. By focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't, we start shaping our inner fortress. Holiday emphasizes that misfortune can often harden and sharpen the will if we let it. It's not about being unemotional or detached, but rather about finding balance and composure in the face of adversity. The key takeaway here is not just about gritting our teeth and bearing it, it's about finding a deeper understanding of events, searching for the silver lining, and emerging not just unscathed but improved. Developing our will enables us to stand firm when the world seems to be against us, making the most out of every situation by turning it to our advantage. In short, cultivating will, according to The Obstacle is the Way, is about preparation, practice, and perspective. It's preparing ourselves for the hardships before they arrive, practicing endurance through small daily challenges, and keeping a perspective that every obstacle might just be redirecting us to a path we were meant to walk all along. It's in this disciplined approach that we find not just the strength to survive, but to thrive. Now, let's shift gears from the philosophical to the utterly practical. Applying the concepts from The Obstacle is the Way isn't an exercise for armchair philosophers. It's for anyone ready to improve their daily life. Imagine facing a tough project at work that has you stumped. Instead of seeing this as a career dead end, Ryan Holiday would tell us to see it as a puzzle. It's an opportunity to learn new skills or to come up with a solution that no one has thought of before. By adjusting our perception, the obstacle stops being a deterrent and starts being a teacher. What about in our personal lives? Let's consider a situation like a financial setback. It can be daunting, but applying these principles, we might see it as a chance to reassess our spending, invest in personal finance education, or explore alternative sources of income. It's a rough road that can lead to a more secure financial future. In relationships, conflicts are often seen as endpoints. But what if we viewed them as moments to develop deeper understanding and communication skills? Suddenly, a confrontation isn't just a conflict, it's a chance to strengthen bonds. And it's not just about big obstacles. The daily grind, the small setbacks, they're all chances to practice resilience and adaptability. Each time we take initiative, each time we flex our will to endure, we're not just getting past a problem, we're growing stronger for the next one. We can't choose the obstacles we face, but we can apply Holiday's approach to perceive, act, and will our way through them. It's about mastering the art of turning trials into triumph, both in corridors of power and in the quiet of our homes. Remember, obstacles are opportunities in disguise. By applying the timeless wisdom from The Obstacle is the Way, we can ensure that we don't just survive the hurdles life throws at us. We thrive because of them. And there we have it, our journey through Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way, reaching its final chapter. We've unpacked the idea that obstacles are not just mere roadblocks, but the very path to growth and success. The lessons of perception, action, and will have shown us how to look at adverse situations, not just with determination, but with an opportunistic eye. As we part ways with this insightful exploration, remember, when life throws hurdles in your path, it's a signal to push forward, to innovate, and to kindle the resilience that lies within. Take these concepts into your daily life and watch as what once seemed insurmountable becomes the stepping stones to your greatest achievements. Thank you for tuning in to Knol. Until next time, keep overcoming, keep thriving, and turn every obstacle into your way forward.